Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome you all to today's section, which is health and wellness. First of all, I want to let you all know, because of the words, the term that we're going to be using today, I might not be able to pronounce some words right. So if I'm incorrect or if I'm not pronouncing any word right, just bear with me, because when I saw the bio of each and every one, I had to Google on how to pronounce it. So if I'm still not pronouncing it well, just pardon me, okay? Okay. So we're gonna start the meeting now, and first of all, I want to let you know about Loni mission about this health and wellness. Part of learning mission is part of our mission is to raise awareness regarding health and wellness. Learning is dedicated to take a leadership role in empowering, making people become aware and making choices towards a healthy and fulfilling life, as well as contributing towards health and wellness from a global perspective. Most importantly, provide education, encouragement, bring awareness collaboratively, and supporting people to lead fuller, healthier, longer, and more productive lives. For those that don't know me, let me just do a little bit of introduction about me. My name is Buki Adesunloye. I'm going to be your host today. And I am a graphic designer, a fashion designer. I make my own clothing and I sell it to people. And I can call myself a model because I model the clothes by myself. And I'm also in counseling. I mean, in training counselor. And I'm so passionate about women's awareness. And I'm just so passionate about women awareness. So I'm here today to be your host, so we can talk about invisible health condition that most people don't realize that some people have it. And because they don't realize some people have it, they kind of like look down on some people and everything. So today, I'm going to introduce to you Dr. Neha to talk to us more about what invisible conditions is, how we can spot it when someone is going through it, and how we can show that we care to other people. So I'm going to introduce him to you, Dr. Neha Shaman. If I'm not pronouncing it well, just bear with me. He's a pediatric and neonatologist, Royal London Hospital, which is NHS, and she is also MBBS gold medal University topper DMB. I really don't know what that means, but she's going to explain it to us anyway. So I want to Dr. Neha to please take the floor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you
can I just request Eri? I think can you please mute your call, please?
If you know, yeah.
There's a lot of background noises right now.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Nia, you can go ahead. I think I got everyone muted now.
Okay,
yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I think a lot of you, as you said, that you have you are being a survivor of a lot of invisible diseases or so-called like autoimmune problems, which a lot of people are affected these days, and females specifically, they're more at risk of having these kind of problems. The list is really long what all these invisible diseases are all about, but obviously when our own immune system by mistake consider any part of our body as a foreign body, it started generating some antibodies against that part of body, and then eventually that is being attacked, and then all the functions are being hampered. And then if you see, there are a lot of there's a long list of all the autoimmune problems which can happen. May it be like Hashimoto, like thyroid problems, or the diabetes, or even pernicious anemia, or there's a list is so long, like celiac diseases, inflammatory bowel disease. The list is really very, very long. But the most important thing to understand is that auto means self or your own body, and immune is your immune system. And disease is like when you have any problem, there's any problem or any uneasiness to your own self, that is disease basically. So this is how the autoimmune mechanisms sets in. Again, it's very difficult to understand what is the problem and how actually it is being triggered. There are a lot of etiological factors which lead to that. A lot of time, the cause is not known. It's idiopathic, which we say in a medical term, that we don't know the cause, but it just happens. And sometimes some of the diseases are more common in ethnic group. Like for instance, There is a disease called lupus. Probably you might have heard about this lupus, where there is a specific skin rashes, as well as it also affects a lot of organs. It is more common in African American ethnic group rather than Caucasian. So sometimes there is also a predisposition of the ethnic group, which leads to certain kind of autoimmune problems. There could be a family history. There could be some environmental factors where there's exposure to certain kind of chemicals which can lead to an abnormal basically activation of your immune system. Or it could be a diet these days as well, which is very, very commonly seen when the diet is more rich in fat and high in sugar. Even those things can also precipitate these autoimmune factors. If you see about how they are presented, basically, it has like all sort of presentation, right from a normal muscle ache or fatigueness, or skin rashes, or swelling, or sometimes low grade fever. And sometimes there's a problem with even your basically the memory and concentration. So it can present as per the disease. Basically, it can be presented with various symptoms and signs. And obviously, the first important thing is, because you are the right person to sense that something wrong is happening with your body, and you are the person who can understand that this is not my usual diet. Something is going wrong with me, and that is the point where you have to ask for help. You have to get yourself checked by a GP and get your blood test done, and then according to whatever problems you are facing, then accordingly the plan and the treatment, everything is basically can be brought down and it can be sorted out. But so these are the things. But the most important thing to understand is that your physical well-being and the mental well-being always go hand in hand. And I have seen, even though if you have like a lot of patients, I have seen, for instance, my own dad who had cancer, prostate. My mom had multivalvular heart problem. She was a patient of rheumatic heart disease, and she also had like for many years rheumatoid arthritis, which is still there, And she also has a tendency of having a clot formation in her blood. But despite they being on the extremes of their illnesses, one thing I have seen certainly, that your mental well-being, how much you are positively motivate yourself, and how much you think that your mental health can control your physical well-being, that is something which is very, very important. And to be honest, I have seen my mom to be, despite being so much affected by so many different problems, I have always seen her very cheery, happy, embracing everything she has got in her life. She has given time to her kids. She has given enough time for me to understand the ethics and the values in my life. So I do understand that these are the problems which we all have in some or the other way. Somebody is affected to more extent, like larger extent. Somebody is affected to a lesser extent. But it's very, very important how you feel about yourself. And sometimes I know that it becomes really hard when the pain and the discomfort is out of the way. It's really very, very hard to even keep your mental well-being going. But as a human being, I think you are the best person to judge whether you need some sort of help in terms of medication, or some sort of counseling, or some sort of support group to help you with that, or is there any additional need? You are the best person to judge that. But my only message to everyone is, never lose your positivity. No matter what you're going through, there's always and always there is some sort of solution which is still there. The more you keep yourself cheery, the more you keep yourself happy, the more you keep yourself positive, definitely it helps you in recover as early as possible. So that is the only thing I'll say. But I'm more than happy if you need any sort of any sort of input from my end about your illness. I'm more than happy to come in between, and you can ask me the question as well. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Leah. I think at the end of the program, we're going to ask you some more questions. So just hang in there and just be waiting on our question. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, what is going to happen right now is I'm going to introduce each one of our panelists, and the first person is going to be Shanshir. And she is gonna I'm gonna tell you about her bio, and then when I'm done, I will bring her on the what is it called? I'll bring her on so that she can tell you about what she's going through, what she's doing, and also at the end of the of her introducing herself, I'm gonna ask her some questions. So if anyone have any other questions to ask her, you are more than welcome to do so. So right now, or do we have any questions to ask Dr. Nair before I get on with before I get on with Sanshir? Any question? Okay, let me just go on.
I think Karen wanted to say something.
Yeah,
Karen?
sorry, can I just say something? Do you know, when this is over with, can you send all your details to every single one of us, you know, that we've got, you know, like if we've got something to ask you personally or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a later time that you know, that you could help us out, or for somebody else we know.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the future.
Absolutely, absolutely, Karen. I'll do that. Thank you.
Yes, I think I do. I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah, doctor, you know, sometimes when issues arises, what we normally do is that because of the loneliness, and we tend to leave things undone. You know, when I'm feeling a little bit low, a little bit depressed about something that I don't know of, what I do is I tend to leave things undone. Which direction can you rightly point me to? Would I just get on and do it, or my body is telling me I haven't got that energy?
Yeah. So I think this is very relevant question, and it happens with a lot of us when we are alone. And at times we just don't feel like, you know, doing that thing at that point of time, specifically when our mind and body is not on the same page. We wanted to do it by, like, we are thinking that probably we have to prioritize our work and we have to get this work done. But body is saying, no, I'm very tired. I can't do it right now. So at times this happens, but what I always do, this is something which is very frequently it happens with me on day-to-day basis, because I work in the hospital. I'm a full-time medic as well. And sometimes, like, even if I have got a long list, I always struggle to get the things done. The only thing which I do is I always keep a diary, and I always prioritize my work, which are the most urgent work which I have to do anyway today. Like if I have something very urgent, no matter what, I'll start my day to do those priority things, and I'll keep a less urgent thing as a second option, which can be done either tomorrow or day after if I struggle with the time today. So I always prioritize my work, but if I know that these are the two things I can't afford to actually make it go to tomorrow, I always try to find my time in order to do those two things. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not able to do that, I never had a sound sleep as well. And this is something which then, you know, and then it keeps on going one by one, one by one. So I would say just prioritize your work and just see what are the most urgent things you have to do in 24 hours. Just do it so that at least you'll have a peaceful night. You know, you can sleep. Even if you're feeling tired, you can take a little bit of break. And that's okay, because obviously we all have different things in our mind, as well as physically also we do. We are going for work on a daily basis. We're getting up early. We have a lot of things on plate as well to deal with. So this is something which is very frequently happening with every one of us. But if you maintain a diary, definitely it will give you, it will keep you at peace, and at the same time you'll be able to do your work more effectively.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have a quick question, if that's all right. Hi, everyone. Excellent topic. Speaking about invisible disabilities, I am a parent of a beautiful 9-year-old girl, and she has absence seizures. So it's a mild form of epilepsy, and it's something that you cannot see unless, if you're really paying close attention to her, you would have blank stares. She's excellent at school. She absolutely loves sports. And I believe at this stage, she's becoming more and more aware that her disability exists when she cannot become part of, let's say, the school teams. She absolutely loves gymnastics, and she cannot get involved in the school teams. And I am saying to myself, I've really coached her. She's excellent at keeping her confidence levels up. But I just was, well, from the panel and from the doctor in particular who's talking, what can I do as a parent? What would you recommend for me to do in a case, and other parents in a position just like myself, who would feel like, I would like to give my children the best steps possible to assist them in their journeys of their invisible disabilities.
Yeah. I think this is also something which is very frequently seen as well. Like, I've seen a lot of pediatric patients having these kind of problems. But the most important thing is, as you rightly said, that you have more anxiety when the child is going to the school. And that's why it's very important to make the caregivers, specifically the teachers and the, and even like she's 9 years old, so even her friend circle are somebody like who are there with her all the time. But it's difficult at times. You can't tell them that this is the problem your child is having and please keep an eye. But the best thing I would say is that obviously the teachers should be aware of that, so that even in case if you're not there, if they see something which is looking unusual or something which they feel is worrisome to them, they should immediately contact you. And also it's very important to make them understand that, that this is the past history and this is what has happened, this is the current medication, and this is what is going through. So it's very important to have that open discussion with the teachers to know, for them to understand that if this is the situation happened, then what they are going to do. And if you have those kind of very open conversation or transparent conversation with them, then obviously it is going to help. From a medical point of view, I would say that it's always, I'm wondering that probably your child might be definitely under follow-up with the pediatrician. Am I right in saying that, Dana?
Can you repeat that question?
I'm asking that your child might be under follow-up with the pediatric team. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, yes,
yeah?
that is correct.
Is she on any current medication?
We have been at the very start, she did not accept the medication too well. Okay. So we have been using other alternative natural medications to assist. Okay. And it has been helping, but it hasn't removed the absence seizures, as it were.
Yeah, because it's very important to be completely compliant with the medications, because we can't afford to miss even a single dose. So that's very, very important. And in what way you can give the medication is something which you have to see what are the ways you can easily, as you were saying that probably she's not very comfortable in taking, then you have to find a way that in what way you can give the medication. I'm not sure of this natural medication, what natural medication you're giving, because obviously these are something which has to be like, if there's any of the medication which is being prescribed, it has to be given. There's no alternative to that. So I'm not sure. Maybe what we can do is I'm going to share my number to you. Maybe we can discuss this in detail with you at the end of the show, if that is okay with you.
That's excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dr. Neha. So right now, what is going to happen is I'm going to introduce Sanshia Alicia to you guys, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what she does, and a lot of information about her. Then I'll put her on the spot, and then she will let us know more information about her. So Sanshia Alicia is the former mayor for the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham, trustee of Endometriosis UK, an award-winning specialist in equality, diversity, and human resources. She was first elected to the council in 2010 and was the first of 3 Black women to be elected there. She has held a number of positions. She school governor, chair of the Health and Adult Services Scrutiny Committee, and chair of the Planning Committee. Sanshia was one of the Labour Party candidates for the European election in 2014 in London region, and is a candidate again in 2019 European election. Following the European elections in 2014, she was appointed by the then Prime Minister David Cameron to be a member of the European Union Committee of the Regions. She was elected the deputy leader of the UK delegation in 2017. This is a forum where she speaks for local governments in Europe. She is also the gender equality representative for the Party of European Socialists. She has a BSc in politics and sociology and an MSc in politics, policy and government. Sanshia is a well sought after speaker, and she has spoken in World Diversity Leadership Summit and the European Diversity Business Congress, as well as conferences and forums across Europe. As well as being an active member of the Labour Party, Councillor Alicia is an active member of the Fabian Society, Cooperative Party, Christians on the Left, BMA Labour, and our trade unions, Unison and GMB. It is interesting to know that in 2010, she was first elected. When she was first elected in 2010, she became the youngest woman in the council, and with our colleague, achieved over 7% Labour swing from the British National Party, as they had reached out to a wider community. Sancha has won numerous awards, including Local Government Personality of the Year at the DODS Women's in Public Life Award in 2013, the Grassroots Diplomats Award in the Policy Driver category for our work in equality and diversity in 2014, and Christian Women in Politics at the Wise Women's Award in 2018, and Mayor of the Year in 2018. Sancha took part in the OBV MVP Shadow Scheme in 2006. She shadowed Sadiq Khan and subsequently Diana Abbott. So I'm going to let Dr. Sancha, not doctor, I'm sorry. I'm going to let Sancha come on right now and tell us a little bit about herself. And
good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to all the panelists and to you as the host.
Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I don't think I need to say anything more about it because that's quite a comprehensive introduction. And I'm just grateful to be here because I wasn't sure if I could make it because I'm actually having a flare-up of my condition right now for the last couple of days, but it has died down a little bit completely. So I just wanted to introduce the condition you've already heard. Endometriosis, and I was diagnosed with this condition 10 years ago now, although I suspect I've had it for much longer than then. So endometriosis is a condition where cells, like the ones inside the lining of the womb in your uterus, are found outside of the body. And every month, these cells react in the same way to those in the womb. So they build up and then they break down and bleed. But unlike the cells in the womb that leave the body as a period, this blood that collects has no way to escape. It is a chronic and debilitating condition that causes painful and heavy periods. It can also lead to infertility, tiredness, bowel and bladder problems. There are over 1.5 million women in this country, in the UK, who have endometriosis. And it can affect a woman at any age. And currently it takes on average 7 years for a woman to be diagnosed by her doctor with endometriosis. So that's a little bit about the condition that I've lived with for a number of years.
Wow. Just trying to, okay, thank you so much for that, Sancha. Let me ask you some few questions. Tell us about a little bit about your condition and how it affected your life.
Yes, well, I mean, I've explained a little bit about the condition, and the main issues for me are painful periods, sometimes heavy periods, chronic pain during my periods, sometimes back pain, vomiting. Those are the main, I guess, symptoms that I suffer from. And it does affect my life because sometimes I'm unable to work because the pain is quite strong. Sometimes I have to reschedule appointments. So as I said, I wasn't sure I would be able to make it this afternoon because I had a flare-up starting on Thursday and it's still going on, but it's reduced a bit, and that's why I'm able to join you. So sometimes flare-ups, I have to rearrange things, and that's why what the doctor was saying before was really important, because I have a really supportive husband. So when I'm unable to do things, you know, he's there to do the things around the house, and then I'm able to prioritize things that I have to do on my bad days and things that I can rearrange until when I'm feeling better. So yes, it does interrupt my life from time to time, but it's also given me a platform to speak out against the disease and campaign for more awareness and campaign for more support and resources from the government. So on that side of things, I've been pleased that I've been able to raise awareness of this disease.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Quite an interesting story. And, you know, okay, one other question is, if someone needs information, maybe research, how can they find resources to support their, anyone that is going through endometriosis?
Yes, there's lots of information out there. The first point of call I would refer someone to, obviously being a recently appointed trustee, is to the Endometriosis UK website. So if you just Google Endometriosis UK, or the website is endometriosis-uk.org. If you go there, they have all sorts of information leaflets. They have a telephone helpline where you can call for more information, series of videos and events, online events now, of course, like this one is. So there's a wealth of information on the Endometriosis UK website. So I'm sure anybody wanting to find out more information should find pretty much everything they need on that site.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
And I would like to add up on that. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for that thing. And I really appreciate your courage and what you're doing right now. There is also Pain Diary UK. If you search on Google, Pain Diary UK, if you're not sure whether you're suffering from endometriosis, this is really a very helpful diary where there are symptoms mentioned, there are some general questions, and because it's really very hard to diagnose basically endometriosis versus your normal dysmenorrhea, that is a periods pain, whether you are suffering from endometriosis or it's normal periods pain. It is really very, very difficult. But at times when it becomes very frequent and the pain is out of the way, and every time even you're going for peeing or for pooing, and you feel that pain, that is something which is very, very typically seen in endometriosis. So even somebody, if you're not sure basically whether you have got or not, this pain diary, which is there on Google, you can search. That is very helpful. You can record every monthly your, whatever your symptoms are and the questions which are mentioned there. And then once you've collected those things, you can just go to the GP and get yourself checked. So that is also very helpful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neha.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I'm going to introduce our second panelist. Her name is Uroma Ofutube. I think I said, did I say that right? Please just bear with me. Let me just do a little bit of introduction, just for you guys to just know who she is and what she does. Uroma Ofutube is an insurance expert, award-winning development expert, also known as the Thyroid Queen, a certified social sector manager. She is the founder of Thyroidism Awareness and Support Initiative, which is what is it called? It's TASI, the first nonprofit registered thyroid organization in Africa. Through our organization, countless of communities and individuals have benefited from our ideas, awareness campaign, emotional and treatment support, including free goiter surgeries. Uroma is also a thyroid disease survivor, who has turned the pains and agony she passed through for 4 years into a rescue mission and a success story that has transformed life, improved the quality of life of people affected with thyroid disease in various communities, both rural and urban. She is a patient advocate, health coach, healthy living advocate, and a social entrepreneur. TASI is focused primarily on creating awareness of thyroid disease in sub-Saharan Africa, while working to promote the global goals, SDGs, mainstreaming on SDG. She's going to explain what that means to her, and Uroma love entrepreneurship. So I'm going to ask her now to just come on and tell us a little bit about herself and what she's going through. Do we have Uroma there, or maybe I mute her? Okay. Okay.
Hi, good evening. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. This is Iroma from Nigeria.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you so much. Let me first of all appreciate Loani for the opportunity to share my story to the world. It's really a great opportunity for me to reach the unreachable and take this awareness to the global platform. So I want to appreciate Dr. Caroline and ladies of All Nations International Global for this opportunity. My name is Iroma. Iroma is my name.
Okay, Roma. Okay.
Yeah, Iroma is my
Thank you for
name.
the correction.
Yes, Iroma is my name. So I survived. I had hyperthyroidism for 5 years before I got cured after a very long time of having issues of trauma and other symptoms that are associated with thyroid disease. Before I go further, I want to just throw light on briefly on what this thyroid disease, thyroid gland is. Everybody has a thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is located at the base of the neck. It's a butterfly-shaped gland that, plays a very huge role, a vital role in the body system. And if any problem occurs there, automatically the whole body is affected, from the hair to the brain to the eyes to, it affects virtually depending on the symptoms, because no two patients are the same, depending on the symptoms. This thyroid is the master gland that is responsible for the body metabolism and plays an important role in growth and development, even of babies. Then it handles everything concerning the heartbeat, the energy, the function, everything that functions in the body. And this gland, it uses iodine. We produce, we eat in the body system to produce two hormones. Those two hormones are thyroxine, which is regarded as the T4, then thyroidoronine, which is regarded as the T3. So those two hormones are responsible for the body metabolism. Then thyroid disease is known to be the second most common disease, endocrine disease, after diabetes. So not many people know about this thyroid and what it does in the body. And as a result, any problem that affects the thyroid disease, the thyroid gland affects every part of the body. So those two hormones take charge of everything, every activity that happens in the body, mentally, physically. Like Dr. Neha says, that the well-being of this body system has to do with the physical and the mental well-being. So when any problem occurs at the thyroid gland, it affects the totality of the well-being of the person, mentally, physically, and even spiritually. So when I had this disease, and when those two hormones produce too much for the body, it is called hyperthyroidism. That is overproduction of that hormone. Then this, if it produces low hormone, we call it hypothyroidism. There are other types of thyroid diseases that affect the thyroid gland, which you can refer to as Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, even a thyroid cancer and thyroid nodule, which some of us here will talk about it. My own area is to talk about hyperthyroidism that I went through, and like hypothyroidism, the symptoms. My own problem started with infertility because it causes infertility. I'm going to be infusing the symptoms as I'm talking, so I want you to listen carefully. The symptoms are as I presented them one after the other. So this disease came, and it's an invisible disease though, because when it starts, even the person will not even understand what is wrong with her. While something is happening to you, you don't know what is happening to you. And it's the kind of lifelong disease that it is treatable and manageable. But the way my own came, the disease that it came as, I started presenting certain symptoms, like I wanted to, conceive. I have 3 children. And when I wanted to add 4, because I had intentions of having 4 kids, when I wanted to add the last one, I couldn't. After 5 years, I could not take in again. I didn't know what was wrong. Of course, I was not having any feeling inside me that something was wrong, because It will come gradually, taking it from one symptom to another symptom. So that was how it started. And I didn't know it was the problem. So in the course of that, I started having some issues like irritability. I became so irritable. I became so, I saw myself having tremor. I saw myself shrinking, losing weight unsolicited. So it continued like that until my eyes were shooting. My eyes were bulging out. So it was a day in my office we were working, and everybody in my office, they were like, oh, what's happening to this woman? You are not yourself again. At any slightest provocation, I would nag, I would snap, I became so unbearable to people, even in my family, to my husband. Everybody was running away from me. Mentally, I was distressed mentally. In the office, I became a very, very, very naggy person that any slightest thing, I quarrel easily, even with my boss. So my eyes were bulging. Naturally, I was using glasses. So I attributed my bulging eyes to eye problem I was having then. So my boss called me in and asked me, what's wrong with you? Why are you behaving like this? And I snapped at him. I said, no, nothing is happening to me. Why are you asking me that? He said, what's wrong with your eyes? I told him, no, it's because of my eyes. He said, no, this is not you. This is not usual. So right there, he gave me a consultant contact. I went there. So it was when I got to that consultant, that was when my journey to my knowledge concerning my condition started. The consultant gave me a note to go for a thyroid function test because it was already obvious that I had a thyroid problem. So I went for a test and I was confirmed to have hyperthyroidism, which I never had before. I never knew how I became even more, more anxiety setting at a stage. I didn't know what I was doing, and he referred me to a doctor. When I got to the doctor examined me, did everything, did my neck check, everything. Then I hadn't started having goiter. So it continued like that. And I was just going for a repeated appointments in the hospital. And the doctor was not actually telling me what I wanted to hear because he couldn't answer my questions. I wanted to know what was wrong with me, but I didn't know he couldn't give me the answers. So after this thing was a stretch of 4 years, 4.5 years. I was just, after a while, I abandoned the doctor and left myself like that. But before I knew it, my condition became worse. I started having other issues like palpitations. My heart was racing like a running horse. And I could not hold it. I started having high blood pressure and other things. Then my skin started having some pigmentations and turning gray and all that. I started poor concentration. In fact, I was out of this world. Any slightest thing, I would just become nervous and frequent bowel movement. I can eat now, eat very well. My appetite was 100%, but I can eat now and go to the toilet, come back again, and eat again. After 5 minutes, I feel like going to the toilet again. It continued like that until after 5 years. And a friend of mine bumped into me, see my eyes red, big. It was so big that it was touching my glasses. As at that time, it was so big. My eyes were so big, So it continued, and my friend screamed. I said, what is the problem? I told her, and she said, no, I know somewhere my mom was treated. I need to send you there. That was how my healing journey started. And he sent me there. She sent me there, and the doctor happened to be an endocrinologist. So immediately I got to him. By that time, my condition had worsened. I came down from size 16 to size 10. I was looking like a mad person. I was losing my hair. My hair strands were just falling off. My body, any slightest thing, my body will start shaking. My hands, at times I couldn't write on a paper because my hands would be shaking. Every part of me, my menstruation became so scanty. At times it will come this month, next month it will not come. So it continued like that. I got to the doctor. Doctor just explained already my systems were shutting down because the doctor gave me a lot of tests to do, and my legs were already swollen up. So that was how he started his own treatment. And in a period of 4 months, he was able to reverse that is what I had. Let me explain. It was hyperthyroidism, which means that there is an overactivity of events in my system, which was necessitated by the high thyroid hormone levels. So he had to reverse those levels back to euthyroid before anything will happen. Already he discovered that I was having thyroid toxicosis, where my thyroid gland had become so toxic that it must be removed if I should feel well again. So it continued like that, and he gave me an appointment. After 4 months, I was on medication for 4 months, and after that 4 months, my values went back to euthyroid. Euthyroid is a situation where your values go from either low or high to the correct values being controlled with drugs. So that was how I got my system stabilized in the first place, and the endocrinologist recommended that this is the best time to go for surgery. And after that, I went for my surgery. I had a thyroidectomy, successful thyroidectomy, and I came out of it. So when I came out of it, I don't want to bore you with my stories because it's a very long one for 4 years. So when I came out of it, considering all I went through, and for the fact that this disease I'm talking about affects mainly women than men. So I saw so many damages it did on me, and I felt that some women, somebody out there must be going through what I went through, because I was actually looking for someone that will explain to me that someone out there must be going through what I went through, and someone out there does not know where to go for go and get diagnosis, because I even struggled to see a lab where I could do the diagnosis. Not every lab that was doing it that time, they were just scarce. Even to get an endocrinologist is a problem. I saw myself as a vessel. I saw myself as a catalyst, to help people to get back themselves from this invisible disease. That was what informed the establishment of Thyroidism Awareness and Support Initiative. And like you said in my bio, we primarily concentrate on creating awareness, because our target is to create awareness in this sub-Saharan Africa, because there is no awareness, or there was no awareness before we started. That was why TASI, in a short form, was the first thyroid focused organization that was registered in Africa. And I started mentoring other thyroid champions and warriors across Africa to start making noise about it, as it affects women mainly, because this thing has made a lot of women to be stigmatized. I don't want to talk, maybe I will talk about the stigma I went through later, but I found the need to solve a problem. I saw that there was a problem, and I found myself that God can use me to solve that problem. And he actually told me to go. I saved you because I want to use you to rescue others. So I use my story. So another thing we do, after harvesting the patients, we go to communities, urban communities, rural communities. We create awareness through televisions, one-on-one campaigns, and through articles, social media. We disseminate information radically to create awareness. We started in 2017, and today we have affected many communities. So many people have benefited from us. So many people have benefited from we've impacted so many communities. And today, So many people have so many people have benefited from our free surgery. In fact, basically, we have done like 32 surgeries since we started in 2007. I mean, yes, 2017, and all of them are successful. I said I am a catalyst because there are people that are even well-to-do, but they don't know where to go. They don't know the right place to go to get proper care. So when they come to our organization, we direct them and channel them to the right place. And those of them that are indigent, we also raise funds to help them to support their treatment. And some of them that their conditions are what we try to channel them to the right specialist. I use my own problems to solve other problems now. So that's it for now until other questions come up. Thank you.
Your phone is mute. Your phone is mute.
Myself.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me? I was just saying thank you so much, Hiruma. I hope I pronounced your name better this time.
You tried, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and also for the in-depth knowledge that you have in regards to it, because, I mean, looking at everything that you say to her is right now, I mean, if not because I've read about your bio, I would be thinking maybe you are a doctor. You understand? Because you gave us so much information in regards to it, which means you made your research, you understand your body, and you just you kept a record of everything that your body was passing through. And guess what? The thing is, I wanted to ask you so much questions, but it's like all the questions that I wanted to ask you, you've already told us about it. So I just want to say thank you so much. And one thing that I want to say with the in-depth knowledge that you have is just like, if you see someone that is going through what you went through right now, you'll be able to spot the person on just right there, straight up, and you'll be able to recommend what they can do. I mean, give them a little bit of advice. You understand? So I just want to commend you so much. Thank you so much for the courage. Thank you so much for telling us what you're going through. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you. And I don't know if Dr. Neymar has any things to, any information to pass on to her or something like that.
No, I think Aruma has said everything from my side as well. And I think the bottom line is for hyperthyroidism, like the key point is if you're losing excessive weight, as you rightly said, if there's any tremors or fine tremors or nervousness or some difference in your personality which you come across which was not normal to you, these are very, very common symptoms, because I was also treated for hyperthyroidism long back, and I only picked up because I was anyway, like I was in my I was doing my medical graduation, and I just picked up my symptom based on my fine tremors, which was very, very unusual to me. That never happened. Like I'm a very confident person as such. And I was going for my exam and I was having tremors, and I was like, this is not usual to me. I love giving exams, like, And then after the exam, I got my thyroid test done, and eventually I was found to be hyperthyroid at that time as well, and I was losing my weight as well. So and then I was treated for 3 years, but eventually it was very borderline race, so I was controlled. But I really appreciate Aruma that she has really translated entire experience into creating experience, like awareness for all the people. So I really, really encourage that and appreciate that. I have nothing to add, but I just say that, these are few subtle signs which you can pick up, and you can get yourself tested and get a right help and take a relevant treatment for the same. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neha. Well, I'm going to go to our next panelist right now. Our bio is very long, so I'm not going to read the whole bio, but I'll just read a little bit, and then she will now come on spot to just tell us a little bit about herself. So our next speaker is going to be Dr. Karen Johnson. And Dr. Karen Johnson is out of the Corner organization and author. She is a domestic abuse global support for victims and survivors of domestic abuse. Our passion and mission is to help save and change lives. And she delivers home written courses, rebuilding lives after domestic abuse, giving freedom to wings to life. Wings to live a life fear-free and fearless. So I'm going to call on Dr. Karen right now to tell us a little bit about herself, what she's going through, and after that, then I have to have some questions. Dr. Karen, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hi, ladies. Hi, everybody. It is great to be here, and thank you to you all, and for Caroline, Dr. Caroline as well, for having me, and to hear everybody's stories and how they're suffering and how they are dealing with it is immensely powerful. Like you said, what I do, I'm very passionate. I was a victim of domestic abuse for 7 years. And I really think this is why I have all the elements I have today. I went through a very traumatic time in my life, and mainly physically and mentally abuse. But there was a certain, you can read my book's on Amazon, so you can read my life story, but this particular one kicking really basically ruined my life as such. And it wasn't at that time because I was only young. I was in my 30s. It's now. It's now that throughout my life I have suffered with chronic pain in my back. I got a kick in my lower back with army boots, with steel cap boots, which I felt the snap in my head. He'd always threatened to break my back, but he didn't actually break my back, but he's done certainly a lot of damage to it. So, because I was so young and I was so very strong-willed, yes, I did go to the hospital. Yes, I did get treatment, and they said I had a few fractures there. But through time, my back became weak. My back became, I was getting all kinds of weird pains, and it basically went into arthritis. I'm 54 next week. And as I'm getting older, I'm getting worse. I've got told I've got crumbling spine. I've got muscle wastage. But the most biggest thing of all, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Now, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia 2 years ago. I do believe that I've had fibromyalgia for a very long time, but nobody knew what it was. Fibromyalgia is chronic pain, chronic fatigue. I have muscle spasms. I have just come out of 3 days of my whole body in muscle spasms and nerve ending spasms. It's like irritable leg syndrome all over your body that you cannot stop wherever you do. I tried to take a sleeping tablet to stop, to make me sleep. That wore off. Sleep deprivation. It's just, and it does affect my day-to-day living. I am a single mum, and I'm so grateful that my daughter is with me. And my son has moved from Spain with the lockdown, and he's here with me. I'm grateful for that and their help. But like I'm here today, it doesn't affect my mindset. And I've always said, you might have ruined my body, but you do not ruin my personality. You do not ruin my strength, and you will not ruin my determination to fight for silence and to break silence. And I will wear my heels. I continue wearing my heels when I can. But it is having an effect on me, on my body. Because I don't want to spend my life in bed. I don't want to spend my life supporting people from my bed. I want to be interactive. I want to be in front of people like I do. I want to stand up and do my courses. I want to do TV and radio, everything that I've done before. And I'm limited now on what I can do. And this is why I'm here today, because I need help on this to get fully awareness of what fibromyalgia is and how I can combat it, and I do want to break silences and to say domestic abuse is a cause of fibromyalgia because it's trauma to the brain. And I thoroughly believe that kick that day done something to my brain that's given me the elements today of having a hidden disability. People look at me and go, there's nothing wrong with you. I've had supermarkets, people shouting at me because I parked in disability bays. There's nothing wrong with you. You look healthy to me. You're a fake. Nobody knows how much I suffer in bed each week. I don't spread it all over the world that I'm in bed, because I'm a positive, strong woman. But I've opened up a lot now to say, hang on a minute, I am suffering today, but I'm still here for you. Just bear with me. So anybody out there who is suffering with fibromyalgia, please get the help that you need. You've got to have the correct help, the correct medication. I just want to know from Dr. Sharma?
Yeah.
Dr. Sharma, what can I do for my horrendous muscle spasms in my legs?
So the treatment for, first of all, the cause, as you rightly said, like it can be because of the, and I'm very sorry that you have been through such a hard time in your life. And I think that is one of the reasons when this kind of condition can come into the life, which is never expected. And it's very hard to diagnose as well, because most of the time there's no known cause. And obviously there's certain types of chemical which is produced in the brain, and it becomes really very difficult for the brain to take that message from rest of the body and to actually give the right signals to the entire body. So that is something like called as fibromyalgia. That means there's a problem with your muscle and the skeletal system. And there is basically a long-term condition where your musculoskeletal system is basically affected. The treatment so far right now is like, it's like, to be honest, even I had some backache issues like long back, and they did all sort of blood investigations on me and they never found it anything. And at the end, they labeled me fibromyalgia. So I'm not surprised, like, this is so common that when sometimes they don't know the answer, they say that this is fibromyalgia, but obviously this is an entity and it do exist in life. I'm not saying that this is not something which we think that it is just common in females. And usually the studies have shown that it is 7 times more common in females as compared to male. And so far the treatment options are like, first is medicine. Second is cognitive behavioral therapy and support from the counselors and speaking to them regularly and getting all the stress out from your mind. And third thing is lifestyle modification, which I think a lot of us, we do definitely getting involved in doing regular exercises, doing yoga, meditation, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is you have to keep your mind positive. As much as, yes, positive, as well as much comfortable and calm as possible. And that is something very hard. And specifically, the kind of journey you had, I can definitely see that it was a domestic violence, but at the same time, it has given you a post-traumatic stress disorder, which has actually precipitated your current condition. And then it has led to these kind of undiagnosed pain condition, which is like very difficult to assess where the pain is. Today, it might be in the neck, tomorrow it might be in the back. Yeah. Sometimes it will be in the legs, sometimes it will be in the feet.
Lower back, in my neck, in exactly. My elbows, in my knees, in my pelvic. Yeah. And I've also I got diagnosed with underactive thyroid.
Okay.
So I'm fighting that as well, and I'm gaining weight. I'm gaining weight rapidly. So, I'm fighting many, many battles. Yeah. But on a positive note, I can still use my mouth. And, I'm still active and I'm still loud and I still shout it out because, like I said, we've all got a voice. And our voice reaches out globally to help others, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I believe I've had to go through all these elements and able to help others, like you all are doing.
And you'll not believe, Karen, when you were telling about your kids, I can see your facial expression was completely changed, You were looking, so, I know that always in life we do have tough time, but there is something really very special in our life to embrace upon. And the moment you bring your kids into the picture, you were like, you were showing the gratitude, you were like, so these kind of thing. And I think sometimes it's hard to, focus on the positives and the things which we have got in our life. But at times I feel like, when we are really struggling, like specifically when I came to UK, I was on my own. And for 3 years, I was on my own. And it was like a big time journey for me because I'm a kind of person who loves to socialize, to speak to the people. I was from India and, the Indian streets.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
So it's just flooded with the people around. And when I came to UK, oh my goodness, there was no one around me to speak to me. It definitely impacted my mental well-being as well. But at that point, what I started doing was I just started paying attention to my own inner self. I took a break from everything. I started analyzing myself. What are the things I can do in my life which can give me a positivity on a daily basis? And what are the things which I can do which can give me a drive on a daily basis? And the best thing that I actually discovered for myself was music and dance. And I started doing it every day. So that becomes a completely a part of my life. If I was sad, I was dancing. If I was happy, I was dancing. If I have to celebrate, I was dancing. If I
just wish I could dance.
Definitely. And I had yesterday only, I spoke to Carol and I said, let's organize something like a dancing party with our learning group. Let's have something in August. Let this, COVID get settled soon, and then we'll have something. And definitely it will happen, Karen. But I would say, Karen, you're a very lovable person. Whatever you have been through, it has never ever impacted your mental well-being. And I'm really, really very proud of you, Aroma. Like, I heard the story. These are something which we have to embrace. And we have so much of positivity around us. And the best thing is talking to each other. We all are there to help each other. And this is all about sisterhood, So today I'm very pleased that despite having so much of physical discomfort, you are there sitting with us. And you're sharing your smile with us. And I think this is the only way to going forward, Karen. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just when I'm going to finish in a minute. So I am sitting in pain, and you'll never know because I smile behind my. We all have our own. We hide behind our smiles, don't we? But this is what makes us powerful women.
Yes.
We give our everything, and we will carry on doing that.
Yes.
And all I want to say is. Don't suffer alone in silence, because we're all together in on this.
Yes.
And if you are having a bad day, say you're having a bad day and be honest and open about it. Because being in this lockdown, we've suffered many elements too, haven't we? It's affected us all in different ways. We can't see our family, we can't see our friends, we can't see our, it's a changed way of life now. But, at the end of the day, what I've found out, I have been, domestic abuse has just gone rife in lockdown. And I've been 24 hours a day trying to help everybody as much as I can on a one-woman band, basically, to save lives and support women, as to say, and men. Just because you're in lockdown doesn't mean to say you can ring that police and you leave. You can. Don't be in a position where you end up like me. I don't want you to suffer the elements that I've got now. I don't want you to be suffering later life, that you've got fibromyalgia or some traumatic chronic pain. Get out while you can and start looking after and saving your own body and looking after your wellness and your children's wellness. And that's me for finish today. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I wish you everyone safe and well.
Thank you, Karen. I think the bottom line for all of us is never suffer in silence. And I think I'm going to take that message.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karen. Your story has been so inspiring. And one thing that I noticed about you is, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of what you feel right now, you still try so hard to put a smile on each and everyone's faces, So I just want to say thank you so much for that, the courage and everything to come on here today. I mean, I wouldn't take that for a ride, So thank you so much. Thank you. I have a few questions to ask you. I just want you to just touch more about it. I want you to tell us what fibromyalgia is. If you can just explain to us, what it is, so that, people out there who do not know what it is, they will get a better understanding of what it really means.
Are you asking me or Karen?
I'm
sorry,
asking Dr. Karen. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought. I think I've said it really, that it affects your daily life. It's chronic pain. It moves all over your body. It could start in my lower spine, then I can feel it radiating to my neck, which I feel now. It's in my neck, then it goes into my arms, then it goes into my legs, then it radiates up and down the legs, and it's in my lower back again. It literally circles my whole body. And then I've got the chronic fatigue where your body wants to sleep, but it won't let you sleep because I've got a very overactive mind and I just can't sleep. I just can't. Then that leads to sleep deprivation, and that leads to more pain. So it's one big ball of chronic mess. But also, I can say, doctor, it is one big ball of chronic mess. And if I wasn't as strong as I am, I can only imagine how women and whoever's got this is really suffering. Really is suffering. And there's not a lot of many people know about it and understand what fibromyalgia is. And it's only like since I think this past 2 years that I've only found out what it is myself, to be honest. It's always been a hidden taboo thing. I don't even think the doctors knew what it was, to be honest. But they still don't know how to deal with it. I'm on morphine patches that releases morphine throughout the day. I have got a list of tablets of medication. Now, if I took that list of medication, I wouldn't be speaking today because I'd be in my bed like a zombie. I can't literally take all the medication that those doctors are wanting to take. I refuse because I wouldn't be able to function and look after my own children. So I've got to fight the pain myself. It's okay throwing medication at you, but it's the right medication for you that you've got to go through.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you. You know what? There's an answer from one of our audience. The person wrote that cognitive behavioral therapy is fantastic for this. So the person said it's a form of psychological therapy. So I don't know if you've heard about that. It's just an answer that someone just threw in.
Dr. Sharma mentioned it about the therapy. The thing is, though, I deliver my own courses and I know all about this. I actually help other victims and survivors of domestic abuse, and I give them back their fight and their life. And so I know all about that. It's all about monitoring your pain and knowing all about your pain and what you can do. I know everything about that. I just need some pain relief. That's all I want is pain relief.
Karen, do you do meditation?
I do a little bit, but not too much.
I think I would say just try making it as a daily practice and see how it goes for another 1 week or 2 week or 3 week. And I can say that definitely you'll be able to wean down your medication. I'm not saying like a very optimistic, but definitely it has led me to overcome my so-called fibromyalgia, which was when nobody was knowing what exactly I'm having for, like why my pain is there. And I still have a very bad coccydynia, that is a tailbone pain without any reason. And so far I've taken steroid shots in my spine, but it has just briefly, it has helped me. And again it is coming up, again and again it is coming up. And even right now I'm sitting on a donut cushion. So even for me, sitting is like
yes, I'm the same, yeah.
Yes, so a lot of time I'm just moving, and then because I'm walking all the time, it has started giving me varicosity in my legs as well. So, you know, it happens. But the only thing which has helped me is keeping myself as calm as possible.
Yes.
Doing meditation, being happy. And I think sometimes you just have to find people like, you know, where you just speak something nonsense, like which doesn't make sense, you know, you just speak something and you just keep your spirits up. And I think you need some people like that where they don't mind what you are saying, but you just have to release few things and you just have to laugh. So, you know, so that's why I would say that please try this meditation. And I'm 100% very, very sure that it's definitely going to help you in terms of weaning down your medication.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to share my number with you, maybe mail ID, and please keep me posted. How do you feel after 4 weeks of your trial with the meditation?
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody? Does anybody in this in our group know anybody who's got fibromyalgia?
Yes, I know loads of people.
Do you, Jill?
Yeah, I do.
And how are they coping?
Well, I am going to speak to you separately, or anybody with fibromyalgia, because there is an awful lot that you can do. And one of the really interesting things is that, as with Hashimoto's thyroiditis that we've talked about here as well, is that a lot of these things are interconnected. And there's, as Dr. Neha will know, there's something called a differential diagnosis where some of these things are interconnected. So you will also be menopausal, for example.
Oh, I am.
Absolutely. So a lot of the symptoms that you are describing are also symptoms of the withdrawal from estrogen that you will be experiencing. But also one of the most important things, and the way that I would approach somebody with fibromyalgia, is we would go in and look at their microbiome, their gut microbiome. We get huge amounts of success, both with Hashimoto's thyroiditis and also with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, by cleaning up the gut, because we know that we are in a nation here, particularly when you're stressed, if you are, as Dr. Neha said, you know, suffering with PTSD, that this upsets the microbiome. Anything that is stressful in our lives puts the microbiome, the gut microbiome, out of whack. So one of the first lines of defense, if 90% of your immunity is in your microbiome and your health is there, then what we need to be able to go in is go in and reset that with some clean eating, some products that reset and proliferate the microbiome, and also to put those lifestyle things in that Dr. Neha was talking about, like meditations, finding really good exercise.
So, and I know what helps me a lot, and as you can see, I'm rather brown because sitting in the garden
vitamin D
helps
yeah.
me. Yeah. It really helps me, and I don't seize up. I need like oiling in the winter with my joints.
Yeah.
But in
we all
the
need
sun,
vitamin D. Vitamin D3 is so important, and people on here, particularly with darker skins, you know, it's very common, and we know that this is related to the current, what's going on in terms of the virus at the moment, is that we are vitamin D3 deficient in this country, even with the sunshine. I take it all the time, and so this is going to help your joints, but also your immunity. It helps with diabetes, it helps with all sorts. But your gut, actually going into your gut, for me, that would be where I would start if I was working with you.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jill, and Dr. Sharma, everybody, for giving me some tips. And like I said, this is what Caroline has given us, hasn't she? She's given us the platform, not just to speak out about what our elements are and our disabilities are, it's to help others. And I want to thank you all for helping me in some kind of way. But I cannot sit any longer. I'm sorry. I'm literally in agony in every part of me, and I don't want to put myself back in bed for another 3 days.
Wow.
So
please take care, Karen. Please take care.
Yeah, so I'm going to love you and leave you all. But I want to say thank you. And because this is recorded, I can listen to all your stories and comment afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Karen, just before you go, I just want to say something. I've met you before. I don't know if you remember, you know, and you were in my car. I was going to go and drop you at a train station sometime. Remember? Okay, so that's me. And if you didn't tell me your story today, I would not have known that you were suffering from anything at all. No, because I mean, Karen, you're such an inspiring person. You've just inspired me today, honestly. And thank you ever so much for coming to tell your story. We do appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Julia. Thank you.
Stay strong.
It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too.
Right, everybody, I must go. I'll love you and leave you. And thank you. And please be in touch. Put all your details underneath so we can all correspond.
Okay. Thank you so much. You know what? Before I go to my next panelist, I just want to ask Dr. Neha a very quick question. You know, in marriages, women, they go through a lot. Maybe emotional abuse, physical abuse, or maybe betrayal in marriages. Do you think all this thing that they go through, do you think it's more like it's influenced their health condition later on in life? Or do you think it's got something to do with the health condition that they go through later on in life? I mean, because most of the people that I've spoken with, maybe they go through domestic abuse, they go through betrayal. They always have one thing in common, which is maybe they're going through one kind of health condition. So do you think it has something to do with it?
So, Buki, you're very right in saying the first thing is the wellness or well-being means your mental and physical well-being both. Yeah. And everything, your body and your mind, they both are correlated. It can't go separately. That if you're going through so much in your mind, it is definitely going to impact your body. And if you're going through so much on your body, it's definitely going to impact your mind. So I completely agree with you in a way that anybody going through domestic violence, it's a massive kind of cognitive overload. On the top of that, you know, that person is feeling insecure, there's no one to take care, is going through physical abuse and emotional abuse and verbal abuse and everything, like, you know, everything is going wrong around that person. And even if that person tries to be positive, and even that person try to be, you know, not getting her inner self to be affected, it's not going to happen. It's definitely going to impact. And I completely agree with you that a lot of these invisible problems which we have is just because of this imbalances which we have in our lives. Yeah. And it's all our mental well-being and physical well-being which is affected or compromised in one way or the other way. So I'm not surprised that this is something which is happening more frequently in those people who have been through these kind of phases